Hello everybody, welcome back here. Cha cha cha. Okay, so today what are we doing? Topic is on dun 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 dun. Wait for it. Chemical thermodynamics. Okay, it's about energy. Now here there are two parts to this topic because energy is so much there. So I will split into first part, which is right here called the Gibbs energy, or you might have heard about it, Gibbs free energy. So at the end of today's short lecture, you will be able to articulately explain these few points here: entropy, we do know as S, the equation, what gives energy, what are these terms, and how this term influence and give suggestions on the directions of chemical processes. Is it going forward and going backward? And what does it mean by equilibrium? And then we apply this in a biological life, energetics of transport, protein structure, membrane. So this topic is really about looking at things that's highly random to a very low randomness. Randomness, disorder, can use interchangeably in this topic. But you can tell by one look, you scan from left to right here. Left side is random because things are scattered. Right side is all clustered. Okay, so when you see that things are very orderly here, it's in low entropy. Things are always moving, but you can't see it because it's static, right? You think they're very evenly dispersed, but imagine they're always in motion, okay? Then they're random. Think of like flies running around, it's random, right? But think of like mochi, sticking together, it gels together, that's low entropy. And here you also learn about when you have high energy, you kind of not very stable, you try to lose energy because when you're low energy here, like in the valley, you're stable. So we're always trying to put the chemical reaction to stability. Basically, you have forward, backward, right? And see which side has low energy. We try to go there if we can. Okay? Sometimes we can't have just one side, we find a balance. And the balance might not be the midpoint. Okay? And here about the last applications, you recognize this is the lipid bilayer. From one end to the other end, normally we take from a high concentration, low concentration, but as we know, and we spoke about it in the class, that here, if you are charged, you get repel, right? Even if it has tracks, but in the middle here, your hydrophobic tails, we kind of rejects it. So we need a special channel. We need energy. This is from a past, okay? Not our generation, probably, maybe. I got some of this when I was young, okay? I thought it was some potion, but it's actually fragrance. Think of EDT, eau de toilette or cologne, right? Okay. And then you spray, and when you walk past the street, have this smell here, so good, was it? Like a 说那女很好香, right? And then because of diffusion, right, the particles of the fragrance carries energy. We talked about it in the past there, that you don't say that wind carry them away, okay? That's partly, but because they have energy, they move around randomly in the air because they catch particles, okay? And when you have large amount of molecules, and in this case, those that we can detect smell here, what what's inside that you can't see in the microscopic level is like this. They're moving around from one end to the other end. You can smell something really nasty, very nice. The fragrance of coffee bean from a coffee shop, right? From a far away. Or you can smell some very nice curry from a kitchen. It's all chemical thermodynamics. Of course, for the foul smell too. Okay, so here comes first and foremost the terminology and units in this topic. You encounter a lot here. The volume we use SI unit, meter cube. Okay, P is pressure. Pascal's SI unit is equals to 1 Newton per meter square. Small n, number of moles, no change. But in this case, because it's molecules, okay. E stands for internal energy in joules. Sum of the KE and PE. H, capital H is enthalpy in joules. T, capital T is temperature in Kelvin, okay? And S is entropy, amount of disorder. D, Gibbs free energy, pardon, G, joules. So notice that there's 1, 2, and 3 unit with joules. Okay, and you need to know the formula, tip of the finger. Okay, saw this before here. Now let's link it up there. When you have thermal energy, you're always moving, right? And you don't move in a straight line because there's no path. You just go anywhere, just bombard and collide randomly, and the path is never the same. Okay, so this big term here, S, is the measure of randomness. And using common sense, which is not very common, when you have high energy, you just keep on moving, like hyperactive. You can go anywhere. But you have a low energy, you can't even move. So low energy associated with low entropy in general. Okay, so like a delta means change is always finite as initial. The change in entropy is equals to negative T delta S. Energy required to change the order. Okay, so the world is always becoming more disorder. That's the rule of thermodynamics. Okay, yeah. When the entropy change is less than zero, it gets more ordered. Like for instance, water become ice. Remember. Can. So now let's define, okay, what is Q? Okay, the heat transfer to or from the system is given by T delta S here. Okay, T in Kelvin, remember. Okay, so same thing you have seen here. K is Boltzmann's constant, not new to you. Okay, W is the number of microscopic states in which the macroscopic states can be realized. Wow, such a mouthful. What it means is, right, it's like in something called in chemistry the partition theory. It's like ninja, this not catch but ninja, how they shoot. A ninja can split themselves into multiple images, right? Yeah, which one is it? Right? They keep on shooting them and you don't kill them, right, in the anime. It's just like that. If you have more ways to partition one thing, you are spreading yourself, the averaging out. So that's a bit more stable. But when you cannot do that, you're just like, there's only one way. There's only one way. So it is more ordered. Okay, like that. I won't test you on this, but this is the best analogy I can give, at least to my chemistry students. Okay, the more ways you can um, spread your energy, the better it is. It's like putting eggs in different baskets. Okay, so see this as a column. Low energy, low temperature, solid. High energy, fluid. Okay, high temperature if possible. This is more literary. Okay, a Shakespearean sonnet. Low entropy. High entropy, a random strings of letters. I didn't study literature, so I can feel it, but probably some of you do, especially now in Ireland. A protein molecule in its regular native structure. The same protein molecule unfold randomly coil. Hoi, 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 hoi. Okay? High entropy. You get it? So mixing increases entropy, of course, right? You have one thing, there's only kind of, this visualization, but we mix two different things here, you jump up, you see? It looks completely different, and you have more rate on left and right, and mixing together, definitely. Okay, you can tell visually. Okay. What it means is if we have a mixture of molecules, it's more random than just one pure molecule. Impurity increases entropy. Now, Gibbs free energy, capital G, is the free energy that controls the equilibrium and the directions of the chemical processes at a constant pressure and temperature. And E is the internal energy, like I said, the sum of Ke and Pe of the molecules are internal. Okay. So the change in the Gibbs free energy is related to the change in enthalpy minus T delta S. Okay. The G determines the equilibrium of a system. Okay. Equilibrium is reached when you have a constant P and T, okay, and G must be minimum, stability. Okay. So we always try to go to the direction where delta G is less than 0. Okay. So why is it got free energy? Free. Because when you have enough, you can give, right? You feel better. When you don't have enough, you get a request and people might not give you. It could be resources, could be energy, could be anything. So it's hard to go up. But when you're a high spot, you can just say, I have too much, I can give, and you go down. You see what I'm saying? Think of it that way. Lots of things here, but given this reaction called A, moles of A plus B moles of B, giving you C moles of C and D moles of D, right? Reactant side, product side. So if I tell you that, okay, less is going to the right side spontaneously happening on its own, right? It means that forward reaction delta G is negative, okay? Lots of free energy given. An example is, right, when you have a protein ligand complexing, okay, become more random here, okay? So you have got A plus B giving you C because there's no D, there's only one product here, see? Understand? So I put 1, 1, 1, 0, okay? Hope you know the translation. More equations there. Delta G equals delta G naught plus RT ln Q. Okay, naught is the standard Gibbs free energy. Standard means at the standard conditions. Okay, 1 atm. What is Q? Q is called the reaction quotient. Okay, normally it serves for equilibrium reactions that's reversible, going forward and backward there. And this might make you think about something you've seen before here, that, oh, equilibrium constant, right? K looks similar, but this is Q, it's different, okay? They're very similar, but it's different. The reaction quotient, okay? So new term here, exergonic, close to exothermic. Exit means it's out, right? Giving up energy. Endergonic, endothermic, right? But gonic is not thermic. Thermic is just thermal energy like heat, but gonic is like total energy. So you see, free energy, taking in energy, going up the slope. Okay, so you can climb. And going down, have high energy, give it up. Okay, okay, good. So, but the assumption to use this reaction quotient is that the reaction does not change its molarity of its components of A, B, C, and D, right? Which means that A, B, C, and D are much smaller than the total number of molecules A, B, C, D mixture. Again, like, what's going on, okay? Basically, you need the volume to be the same. Remember, molarity is mole per dm cube. If the volume keep on changing, then of course they will change a lot, the concentration. Okay, and the mixture and solution is ideal or dilute. But the thing is, right, these are assumptions, just like ideal gas law. We assume it, but in reality, it doesn't happen. Because in reality, the concentrated solutions, okay, or this molarity is replaced by activity. So the actual term that we use is activity of A times the concentration of A, the exact concentration in the system, but it's so hard to measure exact because it's dynamic, okay? Probably this is something more relevant to you see more daily life in your major biomolecular transport here, right? You got transport protein. Again, you need energy. That's where ADP become ADP here, right? Special channel, your M51 here, okay? If it's no, simple diffusion so hard, you get squeezed down. It depends on concentration, okay? Have you thought of how much energy we need to transport molecules across the membrane? And how fast is it? What is the energy currency? What is 1 ATP? So back to this diagram you saw in the previous lecture. I try to turn it this way here, before and after, okay? You first got to overcome this activation energy barrier to just squeeze it in, and after that, you can go inside and then overall you give off energy, okay? So this delta G, you see final minus initial is negative, so it loves to do it, okay? But you need to climb energy barrier before you can do it. So if you don't have enough energy to overcome the EA, you're not going to do it, even though the payoff is good. There's a return on investment, but you cannot have the initial investment to start the process. So let me use another figure to simulate, like a oblique figure with glucose from outside trying to go inside the system, okay? So energy will be released in the transport of n moles of neutral molecules A across the membrane here. Okay, so become A in part 1 to A in part 2, different area. So the reaction quotient will be the ratio of the concentration of A2 in A1. Okay, same thing as just now, just different font color, different font, but you see, as example, AA, BB, CC, DD. And just now we saw the proteins complex, D become 1. No, D becomes 0, right? So you only have 2 reactant, 1 product. But you fine-tune this depending on the reaction you're given. Next here, remember I say that, see from 1, okay, you go inside the system. So from solution 1 to solution 2 here, okay, when you incorporate the number of moles here, we have the term, the N, it's become nRT, right? Let me expand it more. You are still having A, but A in site 1 to A in site 2, just different sites, Imagine if I use like the Berlin Wall, the east and west, okay? There's people flowing, molecules flowing, okay? So you assume that it's going this way, okay, molecules, and at some point they'll reach equilibrium because you cannot have extreme concentration once. That's just not natural, or it's too ordered. So I think I'll pause here, but pretty much is knowing what the terms are, applying the chemical calculations, the explanations. Try to slow down and just think of the pictorial explanations with what I just talked about, and feel free to speak with me in the class after class here, okay? Okay, I shall leave you here and see you next time. Have a good one. Cheers.